All right. So going on to how were the what were the reactions of your family? How did they take it?
Okay. Now, while the process of crying, I feel like I'm continuing the story. The sister said, "Why are you crying?" I said, "Well, I would have to tell my parents." And she said, you don't have to tell them immediately. Learn a little bit, be comfortable when you want to tell them." I said, "Okay, I can do this here." So for about a month, I kind of kept it quiet. Um, and then I was working at Sears at the time, and I remember my mom calling me. And I never told my parents anything. I remembered her calling me at work, and she said, "Denise, are you Muslim?" And I was like, "Yes." And then she hangs up. Boom. And that was the first tone. I was like, "Oh my God," I'm trying not to freak out because I love my mom so much. So if she hung up, I could hear the tension on the phone, like, don't, I could hear it. I was like, "Oh God, it's time. Now we gotta fess it up." So I went to go to my mom, and she's all. You have to understand, my mom's like this cute little German lady, so it's so cute. And I was like, "Yes, I'm Muslim," and she was like, "Okay, you know what? I think you need to research." You know, it was so cute because I have been researching, and I was like, "Yeah, this is it." And she was like, "Well, you don't know, it was the path of you don't know what they're going to do, and you got to worry." And I've only been Muslim for a month, but I learned about it, for about a year. And I was trying to tell her, I said, "Mom, one of the main reasons why I became Muslim was when we were in church. The pastor was all like the story of Adam and Eve and how us women were accountable for Eve's sins and blah 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 blah." And I didn't like that. I was like, well, I didn't want to be blamed for somebody else's sins. And so I said, one of the things that attracted me to Islam was in Islam, everybody's accountable for their own sins. Whatever you do, it's on you. I don't want my forefathers, be like, okay, such and such, who wasn't even there got my sins. So I said, I tried to tell her, she's like, no, 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 don't do it, don't look at it. But I realized my mom was more worried about me becoming with the hijab Muslim. Like I could be Muslim without looking like a Muslim. So for a good year, I mean, we fought, we cried, I got kicked out the house. I came back to the house. I was already living outside my mom's home, but I haven't wore the scarf at that point yet. So it was just a matter of, oh my God, my friend's gonna know that you're Muslim. I think for her was really the visual side of being Muslim. That became really hardship. Now this is just family side, I'm telling you, but for my parents, it was to be fair and honest, my mom probably thought she did something wrong. And I was trying to tell her it wasn't nothing you did. It was something I wanted to do. And so that's where we kind of fought with. I mean, it was a pretty rough battle. It truly was. Um, has it gotten better? Yeah, I think when grandkids came into the picture, kind of Islam kind of sat in the sidelines, but it's still there. I mean, we still kind of stumble and fall over Islam every once in a while, but yeah, that first year was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
Oh dear. What about you Denise? How did your family take it?
Well, I was I'm kind of a all or nothing kind of person, and they kind of know me like that. I'm always the oddball. So I think when I told them about it, it wasn't a big surprise to them, but it was more of a struggle because I was already married and with kids when I did it, and I did it without telling my husband or anything. I mean, I had been hinting at it before time, and I bought a Quran and everything before time, and I had already been telling me, like, I think this is the way I should go. This is the truth. This is, and I've been like preaching all around the town about it, and but I hadn't converted. But when I went that night, no one knew that's what I was going to do. My husband didn't know that. I just said I was going to a dinner. And so I came home and I woke my husband up and I was like, I'm Muslim now. And the conversation we had that night, and I mean, oh my goodness. But I mean, mashallah, I haven't had the struggles that Sister Sumaya had. My family are kind of, they're just really open, and I think more accepting. I mean, I have jokes here and there about it, and because I mean, the person I am now, changing from what I was, it was it's a big change, going from, wearing the short shorts to like fully covering. It was a big change for them. I still have to like hide pictures at my family's house of me. I'm like, oh my God, take that down. 'Cause, like I don't dress like that anymore. But yeah, but they've been very accepting.
Your husband, Sumaya, how did Islam change your life? You say it was 14 years ago.
Oh, how has it changed? I think honestly, it's a positive change. It was a change that I think I actually needed. Um, I was in, you know, it was my first year of college, so I was in that time where it was easy to go to the clubs. It was easy to dance. It was easy to go to drink. We were just, K-State was like just down the street from, Party Central. So, my first year, struggling with school, you were tempted. There's just too many temptations out there. So when I took my Shahada, the goals that, I kind of set for myself was, other than learning Islam, was, kind of understanding who I am. And I always thought I was kind of a positive person. I didn't drink, I did go out, we partied, but I always felt that maybe there was more to me than just that, because the average college student thinks it's probably just party for the first year. So I kind of got in that idea. So it's when I became Muslim, I realized, well, there is a higher goal to reach, and it's Jannah, it's paradise. I've always went to church, but because my parents were in the military, there wasn't a set foundation. You always switch back and forth from churches. But I knew I believed in a higher being. I believed in God, So I wanted what I see people have was that religious foundation. That's what I wanted. So when Islam came, it kind of changed me. Like Sister Denise said, I mean, we went from who wear short shorts to now like maxi dresses and longer gowns and conservatively dressed. So it was actually, physically the change was being there. Spiritually, I was happy that there was a next step in my life, and it was a religious step. The emotional change came, as you learn more and more in Islam. I mean, you have comments, and you had snickers, you had, good sayings. So in essence, how did Islam change me? I think I would have been a better person. Who knows? I could have had, 2 or 3 kids by 2 or 3 different dads. All my kids came after I became Muslim. I married my college sweetheart in a sense. We were a good Muslim family. So, I mean, I can see a great change. I see a positive change in myself. I mean,
you said your husband introduced you to Islam. Right? When you were going out with him, was he a Muslim from the first place?
He became Muslim as well. During that time of courtship, I guess, he just became Muslim as well.
So he became Muslim first?
Mm-hmm. And then me about a month later.
You about a month later?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we got married a month later.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
What about Denise? So tell me, how did Islam change your life?
Well, I think it gave me some stability. It gave me, you know what? I think it gave me understanding of what I was looking for. I wanted something. I wanted to understand what I was feeling. I knew, like Sister Smiley said, I knew there was a higher power, a higher deity, but I didn't know, I didn't agree what I was learning in Christianity. And I think that's where the search went. And then when I found Islam, that search ended. And I felt like, wow, this is what I always tell people, like, I've always been Muslim. I just didn't know what to call myself, you know. And I finally had some foundation in my morals. I had some foundations in what I believed in. And then also the family aspect of it. It's brought my family, as a unit closer. My kids identify. We're Muslim, they have something to identify with, and the routine and the rituals, it's just more consistent now. So I think that's what changed. It calmed me down a lot. It evened things out in my life a lot. So yeah, that's